Hi, I'm Tim Bartz, Internet Sales Manager here at McArthur Ford in Salina, Kansas. And in this video, we have recorded, it was actually recorded during our live stream that we do this last Tuesday. So, we do a live stream every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central, when we go over scheduling information, dealer news updates, recalls, and usually have a topic of the week and some other things. But more importantly, we answer your questions live, the community's questions. So we usually have about a couple hundred people in there each week that are watching this live and asking us questions about their order or, how they should order their vehicle and that kind of thing. And that's what we're here for, is to help you answer any questions. So if you want to join us live, and if you have any questions about scheduling, we can answer them live for you. Also, if you drop them down below, we'll try to get those responded as well. But feel free to come back next week. Again, Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central, if you want to join us live and ask your question, and we can answer your individual question if it hasn't been answered in the past. So I hope you guys do enjoy this video, and I hope to see you next week. All right, let's going to go ahead and get started on scheduling. And now this is scheduling for this week information. And we do have the new set of allocations for this month. So every month the allocations reset, and it usually doesn't happen like on the first of the month. It happens, dealers have to get those allocations in, what they earned for the month, and then they usually get in and everything, and then they start scheduling usually the week after that. So it's usually the second full week of the month is when they start that. And that is this week here. So we're going to be talking about, this is really the first week for a lot of these models to scheduling for those production dates in the month of June. So this is for June allocations. Here we go. So let's first, before we jump into that, let's get into the terminologies. And if you're watching this, the recording on Wednesday, you can just hit the timestamp, move forward. If you're watching this live with us, just bear with us. This is for those of you that watch frequently. This is not new news. For those of you that don't, then hopefully you guys get some information from this. So, all right. So first terminology is the order bank. This is where the dealer will place your stock and retail orders. So when you go into your dealer and you place that order, that goes into the order bank. And that's where they place that order. Now, retail order, that is that customer placed order right there. Stock order, that is an order placed by the dealer for stock or lot inventory. So that's, when they don't have any retail orders, they get allocations, they need to stock up their inventory. And that's how you would see vehicles on dealer lots, is those stock orders and orders not taken by those retail customers. Now, those orders are put in with the priority code. Retail orders are put in at anywhere from a 03 through 19. And then anything for stock is 20 to 80 for those. Lower the better. That's why retails are always looked at before a stock order will be. Scheduling, that's what we're talking about here, where Ford is going to schedule an order for production date in the future months. So we're talking about June. So we're going to be scheduling this week for June date. So we're talking 2 months in advance, right? A lot of these models. Now, allocations, that Ford gives dealers allocations to schedule their orders with. And dealer needs an allocation to schedule an order in the order bank, whether it be a stock or a retail order, an allocation is needed. Dealer earns those allocations from their sales of each model within their region, with some exceptions. I think Maverick is the only one now that's it's based on a mix, not just Maverick. So most of them is just based on how many F-150s you sell, how many Rangers you sell, and yada, yada, yada. So for those. Now, constraints, that is an option that may be in short supply or take longer to build. And that could be based on the next word there is the capacity. That is a planned production rate of a given motor trim and option. For most times, that's going to be the same every month in and month out for that model year. And so when that constraint comes in is when the orders that are placed exceed the capacity. That's where we get a constraint. And that's where you might need to think about whether or not you want to take that option or that motor or whatever and maybe switch that to get yours quicker. That's some things you have to think about. Job 1 and Job 2, those are production runs within a model year. They split into two model years, or 2 job runs, I should say, in case they want to introduce something new, like we're going to talk about in today's episode with the Bronco Raptor. They have a new package available, and that'll be a Job 2 availability for that. And we're seeing that with some other options too. We saw that with Mustang, and we did see that with F-150 with the Pro Access tailgate. Balance out, that is the end of production or balance out for particular model or option. Edge is balanced out. They are now no longer scheduling any more edges for scheduling. All right, so that's that information. So let's dive in first and talk about the Mustang. So Mustang is they are scheduling for production weeks the weeks of June 3rd through June 24th. And then this is going to be a retail scheduling only. So those are customer placed orders. They're going to schedule those first. And that we typically see that the first week, retail onlys, and that way we can make sure those retail orders get in. So anytime you're ordering, you want to try to get those orders in before the end of the month so that way they can be looked at. Because if you, let's say you order, a weekend, let's say you order next week, well, you're going to miss out sometimes for a whole month before it can get scheduled because after retail, they're going to be looking at retail in stock. So that second week, you can still get retail scheduled as well if there's not a retail in there, but they will give that dealership a stock order. So then they may run out of allocations, and then that retail doesn't get built the last couple of months or last couple of weeks within that month. So hopefully that makes sense. All right. It does say in here to speed up the scheduling of orders with the Night Pony package, we encourage the dealers to modify their orders by selecting the shadow black paint color. So that will help get those scheduled if they want the black. It does say in here the Mustang Night Pony package with the black painted roof is only available for retail scheduling and is currently not available for stock dressing at all. So that means oil being able to configure those in that way. Limited availability for the Dark Horse Appearance package. Also, the black painted roof. So, like I said, that's why they're saying if you just do black, then it helps. Also, limited availability for the 19 by 9.5 in the front, 10 in the back, tarnished, dark painted low gloss alloy wheel. That's going to be on those GT Performance package vehicles. Also, the 19 by 8.5 Premier polished aluminum wheel. Exhausted availability for the Night Pony package. Also, the 20 by 9-inch premium painted aluminum wheel. The 19 by 9 in the front and 9.5 in the back, carbonized gray painted aluminum wheel. So usually when you see those staggered wheels, those are your GT Performance package ones. Also, the 235/50 ZR18 black sidewall all-season tires is also exhausted. So you might ask, for those that are new, limited versus exhausted. Limited means that they have some in there, and they can schedule a few, but not a lot. It's not going to be readily just easy to schedule. Exhausted means they don't have that much, and it's going to be very hard for an order with those options on there to get scheduled because they're exhausted. So that's how that works. Now, I forgot to mention, order banks are open up for the 24 Mustang, and there's currently 1,085 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank for the Mustang right now. All right, moving on to the 24 model year Escape. Order banks are open up for those as well. There's currently 445 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank for the Escape. They are scheduling this week for retail only scheduling for the weeks of 6/3 through 6/24. So those weeks. So retail only first week. Not really any constraints or anything to worry about on Mustang or the Escape, really. Everything's well within the capacity that they have, so should be good to go. Next is the 24 model year Bronco Sport. Order banks are open up for all configurations here for the Bronco Sport. There's currently 166 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. So there you go. Not really too many things to worry about. With only 166 unscheduled retail orders, production levels are a lot higher than that, so you shouldn't need to worry about what configuration you have. You should be good to go. They are scheduling retail only this week for the weeks of 6/3 through 6/24, like most of the other models. Next is the 24 model year Ranger. Order banks are open up for the 24 Ranger. So you can place those orders. There's currently 1,338 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank with they don't list any constraints on the Ranger whatsoever. They are scheduling, it says only scheduling for Raptor orders this week. So there we go, for the weeks of 6/3 through 6/24. So Raptor only this week on the Ranger. It does say here, Sim Raptor orders were created over the weekend for dealers with open allocation. So if you have an allocation, but you didn't have an order in there, Ford pretty much loaded an order for you. So you might want to go in their dealers and look at those and make sure that's going on. If there's a retail order in there for you and you had an allocation, they wouldn't have done that, only if there's no orders in there. Limited availability for the forged beadlock capable wheel. First time seeing that on the Ranger. So there you go. Okay, next is a 24 model year Bronco. Ordering is available for all trim levels with the exception of the Heritage and Heritage Limited. They have actually been closed since December. So there you go. There's currently only 2,454 unscheduled Bronco orders in the order bank. Should be okay with about any configuration. We got a couple notes in here, though, that we'll go through. They are scheduling for the weeks of 6/3 to 6/24, only scheduling for Raptor, two-door Heritage Limited, Everglades, and Retail Heritage Standard. So Heritage, so the Heritage Edition, all the specialty ones, with the exception they won't schedule for is four-door Heritage Limiteds. So there you go, and Everglades. So no availability, it says, for the four-door Heritage Limited. Just kind of covered that. Also important note here is Raptor orders will require a mix in the order bank of 50% optional beadlock and 50% standard wheel. So when they go to schedule those, if your order doesn't schedule, it may be because they already have that all the ones that they can do on the beadlock. And since that order was a beadlock, it didn't get scheduled. So there you go. Not much else other than that on the Bronco. Should be good to go. We'll talk later news about the Job 2 new package for the Raptor. So maybe you want to hold off for that. So make sure you check out, if you're watching the recording, check out last night's live stream. And as well as we're going to do a separate video that should go live either today or tomorrow as well on that black appearance package for the Raptor. Next, 24 model year Maverick. The order banks are open up for the Maverick. You can go ahead and place those orders. I would recommend you ask your dealers if they have open allocations, because the way Ford did allocations for the Maverick was really kind of screwy this year, because it wasn't based solely on your sales volume of Maverick like it is every other model. It's a mixture, and they told dealers ahead of time at the beginning of the year. It's the only model they did this with out of all of them. For 24 model year, they told the dealers how many allocations they're going to have, and they are sticking to that. We've had 4 months of zero allocations because we got all of our supposed estimated allocations, even though because of our sales volume, we are way over that. In fact, we have a deficit of allocations, but they're going, you're welcome, Kansas City region, because they're going to you guys. You guys, the Kansas City region is going to be benefiting other dealers other than us for our allocations, because those will go to them that we earned. So make sure you ask your dealers if you have available allocations and whether or not they're getting any allocations. That would be very important, because we got 17 customers that aren't going to get their scheduled with us that have retail orders, which isn't right. But I know there's dealerships getting stock scheduling this week, but that is the way it goes. So for those dealers that are getting allocations, congratulations. Here you have retail scheduling only for this week, and they are scheduled for the weeks of 6/3 to 6/24. Oh, I forgot to mention there's currently 11,016 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. That dipped below 10,000, but has jumped back up there again. So there you go. Some notes on this. XL availability, it does say in here 21%, but they did tell us on the wholesale notes this last week, that it was supposed to be 25% on this. So maybe they just didn't update the sheet. Does say required orders. They are needing XLT or Lariat orders with the 2.0 EcoBoost engine and the trimmer package. They need the trimmer off-road package as well. No other notes there. And yes, there's currently still 63% of those 11,000 orders that are XL. So that's the biggest constraint. Also, 73% of the 11,000 orders are also hybrid. So that's going to be the biggest constraint if you have one of those things there. Otherwise, should be good. Other than I'd stay away from your bed covers and your optional liners, even though they didn't mention it in here. This week might not be a big concern, but later the bed liners, the optional spray-in and drop-in liners are going to be a constraint probably next week or the week after. So keep that in mind. That's typically what we've been seeing this year. All right. Next is a 25 model year Explorer. Order banks are open up for those right now, so you can place those orders. They're currently only 2,231 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank for you there, and they are scheduled for the weeks of 6/3 through 6/24. Retail scheduling only this week for those that have a retail order in the system. Limited availability for the 2.3 liter EcoBoost engine. Also, limited availability for the Ford Blue Cruise, which is that's the optional Blue Cruise. So I'd recommend some of those packages are going to come with Blue Cruise as standard equipment. Is to don't get the optional package. I don't know why. Why is that constrained? So I guess it'd be vehicles that don't have Blue Cruise as standard equipment is the ones. So adding that on there has been a constraint now. It looks like for the 25 model year Explorer, which is crazy because I think Blue Cruise is standard on the ST line and above. The only thing it's not is active. So and then the 2.3 is limited, which and that's the motor for the active. So I don't know what they're going to schedule here. It says exhaustive availability for the active, which we just mentioned, ST line and ST. It even has that. Also, the 21 by 9-inch aluminum premium finish wheel that's standard on the Platinum. The 20-inch carbonized gray painted aluminum wheel, which is available on the active 4-wheel drive. And the 18 by 7.5 aluminum wheel, which is standard on active. And then the 20-inch luster nickel painted aluminum wheel, which is standard on Platinum. We're only like a month into scheduling for the 25 model year. We already have a lot of constraints for the Explorer, which is a shame to see there. All right, next is a 24 model year Expedition. Order banks are open up for the Expedition right now. Currently 475 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank, and they are not scheduling this week. So we don't have any notes because they are not planning to schedule for the Expedition. So, all right, all I have for that. 24 model year Mach-E. Order banks are open up for all the Mach-E's. In fact, I'll have a video coming out probably tomorrow, the next day on the Mach-E. With some new numbers. We now have the numbers for the 24 model year, and now you can order online. So that was opened up today. I did notice that. Currently, only 36 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank because the order banks have been open for a while on those with your dealer. So you can either order with your dealer or order online for a Mach-E. They are scheduled for the weeks of 6/3 to 6/24. Retail scheduling only for this week on the Mach-E. No other notes there. So. All right, next is the 24 model year Super Duty. Order banks are open up for the Super Duties. You can place those orders. They're currently 14,859 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. That dropped significantly from last week. It was like 20,000 last week, I thought. Wow. So you're talking 5,000 orders got scheduled last week. So we're now down to 14,859. Wow. Okay. We'll get into some of these numbers here in just a second. Let's go through the notes here for this week. Scheduling for weeks at Kentucky Truck Plant of May 6th through June 3rd. Sorry, I had to think about what 6 was. June 3rd. Ohio Truck Plant is scheduling for the weeks of 5/27 through 6/3. So I'll just go with the numbers from now on. 24 model year allocation data is currently unavailable. Okay, they actually the information went down. That's actually back up now. Not sure what the deal is there, but they disappeared there for like a day or two. Required orders, they are needing F250s and 350 XL and XLTs with a 6.8 liter without the heavy duty alternator and the fifth wheel prep package. Alternator's okay. That's that fifth wheel prep package that messes that up. And they also need 7.3 liter motors with the XL and XLT without the gooseneck hitch prep package. The fifth wheel gooseneck prep package. That's 53W. So they're looking for orders for that so they can keep that plant running. It does say XL 6.8 liter gas orders. Okay. That's just a note for dealers. And they also said they can do spray and bed liners because they have enhanced the capabilities or capacity at the spray and liner facility. So they can take orders with spray and liner. All right. Limit availability for the Limited and the King Ranch series. Also for the 225/70R 19.5G traction tire that with the 4x4s. That's your 450 and 550 chassis cabs. Also, the 225/70R 19.5G, that's optional on the 450 and 550 chassis cabs. There you go. Those tires are the TGK option and TGM option. 4x4 front axle that's available on the 450, 550, and 600 is limited. The 4x4 front axle that's available on the 450 and 550. Also, the Max Recline seats, that's option 90M. That there is also going to be constrained a little bit. It says that one's also, it's standard on the Limited, Optional in the Lariat, King Ranch, and Platinum. So that's going to be constrained a little bit if you have that option. Also, the leather 40 console 40 that's available on the limited King Ranch and Platinum is also limited availability. And then the 203-inch wheelbase, the fuel tank with the low sulfur diesel fuel, that's limited, as well as the fifth wheel hitch kit. That is it's not optional on the King Ranch Platinum and limited because it comes with it. So that is also limited as well. So you might take note of that when you have those orders placed and why they're not scheduling. There you go. And don't forget, King Ranch Platinum Limited, they're way over the orders over their capacity. So that's just going to take longer for those to get scheduled for you. All right, next is a 24 model year F-150. Order banks are open up for that. We're on job 2 now. There's currently 5,880 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. They are scheduled for the week of May 27th this week. And it says orders required. They need 801A Raptor orders. A lot of people not getting their Raptor 37s. That's been a hard one. Also, does say orders required with a tow haul package in any of the available max tow axles. So if you want a tow haul package, you need to make sure you have either axle XL5 or XL7. That's the 355 max tow electronic locking gear ratio, as well as a 373 max tow electronic locking gear ratio. So you need one of those two to get your the tow haul packages scheduled for this week. Yep. So that's all notes I have for that right there. So should be okay about any configuration really with just that many number of orders. All right. Last one is a 24 model year Transit. Order banks are open up for the Transit, so you can place those orders. There's currently 5,978 unscheduled retail orders in the order bank. They are scheduled for the weeks of 6/3 through 6/10 for those 2 weeks. They're only scheduling e-transits this week. So those that don't have an e-transit order, you're going to have to wait another week. But there you go. So that is all the scheduling information. Again, that is for this week only. That is not for the entire month. They're doing a lot of retail ordering this first week, and this is for dealers' new allocations that are going to go into effect for this week of scheduling for mostly June production dates. So, all right, there you go. Now, if you have any questions, if you're watching the recording from Wednesday, drop those questions down in the comments. We'll try to get to those as quick as we can. If you're watching this live with us, Sarah, let's go take those questions.